Good afternoon from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's Saturday the 18th of July 2026. So we're halfway through July and I can't wait for this month to be over. It's been very stressful. The time is 2:04 p.m. I've been out this morning. I swapped over the oxygen cylinder bottle. I drove all the way to Capalaba to the Total Tools there because I thought, well, it's right next door, not next door, but close to Capalaba Produce, so I'll kill two birds with one stone, literally. So while I was out there buying the bird seed for the wild birds, I thought I'll get the oxygen bottle at Total Tools Capalaba. I don't know what's going on with that store, but they didn't have any. Anyway, the young man was very kind because I said, well, I also want to buy O-rings for the gas arresters. So we walked up and down quite 3 or 4 aisles looking for O-rings. He works there, the young man. He couldn't find them either. I said, look, doesn't matter. Today's yet another day of not being my day working for me in any way, form or manner. I'm getting really agitated about that. So anyway, I hopped back in the car. I went to Capalaba Produce, that's right, next. And from there I rang Total Tools in East Brisbane. I said, do you have any C cylinders, which is the smaller size of oxygen cylinder? They said, we have one. I went, I need two. I want to buy another one. So I've got a spare whenever I run out. He said, oh, no, we have only one. But there's 3 at Tingalpa. I really should have gone to Tingalpa. It was actually on the way back to the city. But anyway, I said to the young man on the phone at East Brisbane, I said, all right, I'll be there in half an hour because I wanted to make sure I at least got the swap bottle. So I swapped that over. And I asked them, and it's ridiculous that they won't do it, but I said, can I order another C bottle because I want to know I can get one? No, you're not allowed to order them, and it makes no sense, quite frankly. You've just got to wait till people, we've got them in store, people have swapped them all back over. It's like, I don't get the logic of that. It'll be to do with their purchasing or how they carry their stock or something, but it doesn't actually help the customer who wants to, it was $189 they would have had in their hot little hand, by the way. I guess they don't care. Just want to make everything as difficult as fucking possible, quite frankly. But the young man did go and ask the manager and came back after quite a long while, so they must have discussed whether they were going to do that or not. Anyway, he said, there's 3 bottles at Tingalpa. I said, yes, but I've already come from Capalaba. I'm not driving all over the city chasing things. I'm exhausted, really was exhausted. When I was down at Total Tools in Capalaba and they didn't have the O-rings, I went next door to a shop called the Bolt King. I said to the man, do you have O-rings? He said, oh, I don't really specialise in O-rings, but I've got some here. Anyway, he helped me. We managed to fossick out. I said, just give me about 10. I said, it's just for when they wear out so the gas arresters don't leak. All worried about leaky gas. Do you want to know the funny thing? I came home, I'd left one of my gas knobs on my gas stove again. Been on all night and all day since I cooked last night. Had no idea. It's dangerous because you don't smell it. So all this fixating on getting oxygen for my Smith little torch, and I just about bloody gas us out in the house. It's a bit bonkers, isn't it? It is. Anyway, so then I hummed and hawed when I got home. I cooked up a pizza that I bought the other day in Aldi for my lunch, which was nice, very nice. I figured I'd save a bit of money by just buying the cheap pizzas in Aldi because I was buying Domino's pizzas once every fortnight or so, and they've gotten very expensive, $25 each. Screw that, honey. You can get it for like $8 or $9 an Aldi. So anyway, I'm trying to sort of spread my money as far as it can possibly go. So then I had the pizza and a mandarin because I thought I need some vitamin C. I really feel depleted today. It's kind of a nervous breakdown from all the stress. And I thought I'll have a mandarin. And then I noticed little Bo this morning chewed one, got up there on top of my bookshelf, chewed one of my little wooden boxes. So I got out my sanding drum on the trusty Dremel, tried to sand the worst of the damage off, and it's kind of ruined, but it'll do. I've had that particular box since I was 12 years old, so I figure we've got our money's worth out of it. It's lasted a long time. But I don't know what possessed him. He's got that much to chew in his own little cage, all his toys, everything, but no, he went flying around the room chewing on my timber little boxes just for sheer mischief. He knew he was being naughty, by the way. When I caught him doing it, I went, "What are you doing?" He's like, and you can't really stay mad at him. He's just has no idea what he's destroying. It has no value to him. It's just to him a bit of wood. He's not sentimental about anything. And maybe it's how I should be, like the birdies, give no fucks and not be sentimental. You have to laugh. So anyway, what was I saying? So after all that, I put the C cylinder, oxygen cylinder back on the arrestors and, bolted it back on and made sure I checked for leaks and did all that. It doesn't take very long, but I'm always nervous. I'm kind of scared of it in a way. It's kind of a bit nuts. Why am I still scared of it? Like, I've got the hang of using it now. Anyway, I just have this fear of, I don't know, having a gas explosion and blowing up. And then I left the gas stove on. Oh, there's grease all over my bench. Is it grease or water? Don't know. Anyway, so then I hummed and hawed. By this time it was like quarter past one. I thought, shall I go, get back in the car, drive to Tingalpa, which is about a 16-minute drive. I've got to stop and get petrol because my petrol's low too. Do I bother to go out again? And you know what? I thought, I can't be bothered. Can't be bothered. It can happen on Monday or Tuesday or sometime next week when I've got fire in my belly and I decide to get the whole thing up and running. So I feel a bit depressed, quite frankly, but I think it's just exhaustion. So what else can I tell you? Straight away when I came home, hit the ground running and gave Scrub Turkey his seeds. He was waiting for me at the front gate. If he could put his hands on his hips, it would have looked like this, like, where's my food, Mama T? So straight away fed him. So he's a very happy birdie, and he's been sketching up stuff from the garden for his mound. So he's all happening in a far out way, and the only thing that has to happen now is the Mama T, get herself happening. So on the note of happening in a far out way, being organised and a bit delightful, I thought I would continue reading from chapter 2, Cracking Up. I do believe this is part 4 because I've had to break it up in sections. So we should be able to knock this chapter out of the park today, people of Earth. Missions must be completed at Titania's realm. Sometimes it can take me a while, but I got to get there in the end. So let us continue. William McGonagall, 1976. The Truth at Last, Chapter 4. The breakneck-paced McGonagall books were written in collaboration with Milligan's friend and publisher, Jack Hobbs. That night, under a full moon, McGonagall sailed from South Africa in the hold as a slave. "I want to see my solicitor," he shouted through the barred hatch. "Keep rowing or you'll have us all on the rocks," shouted a friendly voice. It was the captain of the lugger, known as Captain Dan McGrugger. He wasn't fit. And that was why McGonagall was rowing. "What's the name of the ship?" said McGonagall. "The Marie Celeste," came the reply. "I've got a nasty feeling," said McGonagall. "Well, keep it to yourself," said the captain, "and I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll split the insurance." Just before we lower the lifeboat," said the captain, "put 2 sausages, bacon and eggs on every plate. That'll fool them." "It fooled me," said McGonagall. But then everything did. As they rowed from the silent, fully rigged ship, the captain gloated over the side. "Oh, wait till we collect the insurance on that," he said. "It'll come to a tidy sum." "How much is that?" said McGonagall. £5 each," said the captain. "That's not much for the loss of a big ship like that," said McGonagall. "My God, you're right," said the captain. "Quick, after it!" But row as they might, McGonagall couldn't catch the fast disappearing Marie Celeste. "She must be making all of 23 knots," said the captain. "Oh dear," said McGonagall. "I only know how to make 2, and one of those is a granny." Try as he may, they could not close the gap. With McGonagall at the oars, the captain rowed like mad, but steer as he may, he had no effect. That's the other thing I wanted to do today, or soon, but I haven't obviously done it. I'm chasing wool, bright green wool for hair for my beautiful King Oberon fairy so I can finish him. I did his face yesterday. He's got his face, he just needs hair in his crown, and then he's done. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, when I'm possibly chasing another sea cylinder, I will chase that wool too. Must be able to buy it somewhere. It's very annoying that I haven't been able to find it anywhere. I had a lovely one, but I must have used it all up because I definitely don't have it anymore. It's most annoying. It's a lovely idea in one of the Facebook groups I'm in about knitting, to store your wool, but I don't think they live in the subtropics like I do, because I don't know how they would keep the moths and the weevils and the cockroaches and things out of it. So that's the only problem. I don't think it would be feasible to do that here. But it was a great idea. They had an entire wall And they bought this, like, you know, white chipboard with the holes in it that you can buy. And they stuck, like, long hooks or something pointing out. Don't know where they got those from either. And they had all their walls all sorted by colour code, all hanging out on hooks against the wall. So it made a colourful display, and then you could look at a glance, see all the wool you have, which I would love to do that, because mine, I don't have a great deal, but I've got 4 plastic boxes of it, is hard to find, you know. You've just got to pull all the boxes and fight to get to everything. It drives me batshit mad, people of Earth. So, or maybe I should do that, get that particle board idea, and just in the corner of my bedroom where I have the boxes, just have it all climbing the walls vertically on hooks. I really like that idea. But as I said, how am I going to protect it from moths and you know, things that fly in, and the geckos that run around the walls here and poo on everything? I don't think it's feasible. But lovely idea. I wonder where that person lives that they could store their wool like that and not have to worry about geckos and moths and cockroaches. And I have a feeling it was somewhere in America, but they have hot summers in America too, don't they? I'm very tempted to do it, but I don't think it'll work out here. But this house, tiny as it is crammed full with all my, you know, artistic supplies and things that I need for candle making and things that I made for actual art. And this whole room has got my jewellery, silversmithing crammed into it. Just some of it started to spread outside this room, and I'm like, it's getting ridiculous, people of Earth. I actually need to rent a studio somewhere to store everything and probably go there every day and work in it there. But that would cost a fortune, so it's not feasible either. You can get, like, you can go to those, like, storage places that where you can store things, but that costs money too. And then when I want to, like, work on something, I like it that it's here and I can grab it straight away. Anyway, what am I worrying about? Worry. Have you noticed in recent months all I do is worry out loud on YouTube? Turn into a real old fuddy-duddy old lady. Christ on a bike. Right. I'm on the program, don't worry, I just needed sweetness in my life. I needed some sweetness in my life, people of Earth. Right, here we go. I'll just check on my birdie boys. Because now that I know that you chew things when I'm not watching, you're diabolical, the two of you. Yes, handsome boy. Kermie. They're getting very Twitter-pated, and I know why. It's not spring yet, but the turkey's making his mound ready for spring, and they must be sensing that it's the time of the year when birdies prepare to have their little baby birds. Hence the sexual frustration chewing my little wooden box. You little varmint. You cute little varmint, you. Oh, I do adore them. I do. I get away with murder because I adore them. Wow. I bought extra bird food for them as well. They're not exactly running low yet, but I just bought another one just so I've got a constant supply and a flow. So it grinds my gears when I run out of things constantly. So I think I will spend that nearly $200 for another cylinder bottle and just have it put aside. Then when one runs out, I can use the full one and go and swap over the other one, so it's all constantly, you know, in the flow, ready to go. Not that I make that much jewellery, because it costs a lot to buy the silver and stones and what have you. I don't make a lot. But so every time I've been in the middle of a job making something, I've run out of the oxygen, so the torch wouldn't operate properly and couldn't solder. So annoying. So very annoying. I hate being annoyed. Right, so I don't annoy you, my beautiful YouTube audience, subscribers, likers and commenters. I'll get on with Spike Milligan's cracking up. A log of the lifeboat, 321. 321. It's a lot of lifeboats, 321. How many lifeboats are usually on board a ship? Don't answer that question, I don't know. Day 1. Enough food and water to last us for 3 months. Day 2. All food and water gone. Day 3. McGonagall lying delirious in the scuppers, saying to himself, "Ooh, Mrs. Mountain's glorious transport cafe, where are ye in my hour of need?" To which she replied, "I'm here in Lewisham cooking lunch for Scott Fitzgerald." Day 5. Floating helplessly off the Azores. Day 6. Floating helplessly off the Azores. Day 7. Floating helplessly off the Azores. I want to know how they ran through 3 months' supply of food in one day. Must have got knocked overboard or something stupid like that. That sort of shit would happen to me if I was lost at sea. It really would. All the plans I'd put in to make sure I was well catered and provided for would just get scuppered. Oh, that's negative thinking, isn't it? It's true though. From day 7 to day 23. Ha 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 ha! I shouldn't laugh, it's not funny. Floating helplessly off the Azores. Day 24. Have decided to settle off the Azores. Day 25. Suddenly floating rapidly away from the Azores. What are you doing, you mean turkey buzzard, picking on each other? It's probably foreplay for their breeding season impending. Sweet little birdie boys. Day 26. Withdrawn application for permission to settle off the Azores. Day 27. Captain acting strangely. "This won't get us very far," said McGonagall. "What won't?" said the captain. "This won't," said McGonagall, holding up a piece of knotted string. "Give me that," said the captain. "I will not," said William McGonagall. Day 28. The captain said, "Give me that string." Day 29. McGonagall said, "No." Day 30. Fighting broke out around the lifeboat between McGonagall and the captain. "This is mutiny," they both shouted. "One of us must be wrong," said the captain. "Land ahoy!" shouted the lifeboat, and there, 3 inches away, on a hot summer's day, was the beach at Eastbourne, a pleasant resort nestling on the southeast coast, population 35,000 approximately, and with the arrival of our heroes, 35,000 plus 2, and a talking lifeboat. There were regular trains to Victoria and good connections by road to Brighton, Hailsham and Upper Dicker. A good shopping centre and a wide choice of hotels, the Excelsior being the widest. Recommended by the AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. As they landed, people of Earth. As they landed, McGonagall cried, "Oh, beautiful town of Eastbourne, a place where many people are born." Don't trust him. He's going to chew all my boxes, isn't he? Some of them are very precious to me. Little varmint. A place where many people are born, because it's a nice place to stay. Let's turn it so I can watch the little snookies while we're reading. It's a multitask. Not many people leave it to go away, and I and my captain are grateful it is here, because the moment we saw it, we lost our fear, and there are trains every hour from the station. They go to Victoria and other parts of the nation, and soon we'll be travelling along the Iron Line. And I hope that during the journey, I will feel quite fine. Got blurred vision and I feel awful. I have to pull it together, people are there. I pulled it together to get that oxygen cylinder, so had to travel halfway around the city to get it, but I did it, I got it, and I got it good. So why am I going into collapse mode now? Don't know. Right, where's my little snooks? Aha. Little bow is at the bottom of the cage. Where's Kermie? Ah, you're at the top. All right. They were fighting this morning too. Quite nasty they were being. They were flying all over the room. Kermie was chasing him, flying, and the little one was flying to get away from him, and then he was quite aggressive. It's been a weird day, even for the birdies. I'm watching you, Kermie boy. I'm watching the green neck one. I'm watching you. It was a new experience travelling in a dog crate in the guard's van, but the captain seemed to know what he was doing. How he got into that crate of pigeons McGonagall would never know. But it was cheap and safe, provided you could keep up the barking and cooing. I'm going to miss all this, when we get to London, said McGonagall. At Victoria Station, they broke open the pigeon crate and the captain flew away, taking with him, my eyes really are blurry, taking with him the vital insurance form for which McGonagall had suffered so much and now had nothing. Oh, wow. Easy come, easy go, he said. He threw himself under a train and missed. It wasn't his lucky day. Do you do this often? Said the wheel tapper. Not if you're successful, said McGonagall. You should only need to do it once. Does that answer your question? And in one bound rejoined his wife and children in Edinburgh. Oh, Daddy's home, Mummy, said little Willie and little Sarah. Oh, Willie dear, you're back. Your front, your legs and arms have all come home with you, said Jeanie, his wife. What's for dinner? He said. Breakfast, said Jean. It's only 6 o'clock in the morning. Ah, that's the sort of dinner I like, he said, throwing himself on the bed and missing it. Do you do this often? Said the wheel tapper. I thought I'd answered your question, said McGonagall. I'm sorry, Willie. We sold the bed. Does that answer your question? Said Jean. Suddenly your £500 a week cheques were cut off, and I never ever sent you any. But I never ever sent you any £500 a week cheques, he said. I knew it was something like that, she said. Does that answer your question? He said. Willie, why are you in such a terrible ragged condition? She said, with nae shoes and nae trews. It's something to do with shortage of money? Does that answer your question? He said. But dinna worry. I'm going to start my career as an actor, he said. First thing tomorrow morning, as soon as I've had a good dinner. That's no good to me, said the wheel tapper. I'm to report to Wilton's Music Hall, said McGonagall. The manager wishes to see me. So a perfect evening came to a close in the McGonagall household. With a roaring candle in the grate, McGonagall gathered his children and the wheel tapper around him and told them a traditional Scottish fairy story. Once upon a time, there were 3 overdrafts. I think I'll be off now, said the wheel tapper. There's no work here. Extract from McGonagall's diary. The next day, Jeanie laundered my suit, boots, stick, hat and cape. As I sat naked by the fire, I was concentrating deeply on my coming career when suddenly everything went black and we didn't need to have the chimney swept for many a day. It was a fearful task removing 80 pounds of soot from my body into a small hip bath, but once I'd got the hang of it, it was quite enjoyable. Starting with my feet, I soon reached my neck when I beheld my black face suddenly in the mirror. Oh, I cried. Oh, what? Said Jean. Othello, said I. Oh, sod, said the wheel tapper. There's no work here. Where's my penny Shakespeare plays? McGonagall composed a little tune called The Rattling Boy from Dublin Town and played it to a musically crippled friend who could play the violin in the kneeling load position. He also occupied the chair of music at the university, which they had specially made to fit him. It's a nice tune, said the cripple. What do you think I should do with it? Said McGonagall. Take it to a garage, said the cripple. Why? Said McGonagall. They'll drive it away for you, said the cripple, and nobody need ever know. But I don't want anyone else to drive it, said McGonagall. It's only had one owner. You mean it's still under guarantee? Said the surprised cripple. No, it's under a tarpaulin in the garden. What's it doing there? It's waiting to be sung, said McGonagall. Then, drawing on his last reserves of strength, he said, Goodbye, I must go. 1 hour later, he was on the stage at Wilton's Music Hall singing the theme song from Shakespeare's Macbeth. This had been a last-minute change from his Othello act, when a sudden squall had moved an entire week's soot from his face, revealing an impostor. What are you going to do for us? Said the manager. Othello, said McGonagall. But you're white, said the manager. Can you not turn the lights out? Said McGonagall. The manager complied, and McGonagall started his great act. From the crepuscular darkness came the sound, ooh, followed by a pause and an agonized crash and another, ooh. He had fallen into the orchestra pit. Thank God, the concrete floor has broken my fall, he said. It had also broken his neck. But with one bound, he was back on the stage, and although in great pain, he gave the following soliloquy. O God, our Christ, the pain in my neck, translate my neck, I can't go to work like this. So for an hour, screaming in agony, he stumbled round the darkened stage until a voice from the gallery shouted, What about Othello? Never mind about him, said McGonagall. What about me? And fell unconscious on the stage. As his body crashed to the floor, he was given an ovation for the first time in his life. Encore, they cried, stamping their feet on the ground. But William McGonagall was resting, unconscious. He was lifted to his feet by a kindly stage manager who hurled him back into the orchestra pit again. An enraged pianist held him back. An hour later, the score was Love 40 in the manager's favour. McGonagall was only saved from another set by a Zeppelin raid on London, during which he received a direct hit. It was a long time before McGonagall could play tennis again, but this did not stop his massive outpourings of poetry. Will anyone ever forget his immortal Ode to a Zeppelin raid over London? Yes. Right, need to air this room. I've got a strong scent of that furniture polish. It's very strong scent. Whew. Those fumes are not good for my birdies. How are we going, birdie boys? Have you destroyed anything else yet? No? You've been good now? Are you being good boys? You are. You're my pretty birdies. The pretty birdies. The pretty birdies. All the birdies are outside singing to you, boys. No king parrot today. They sound like Indian miners out there. Well, anyway, Goblins, 1978. I was 13 in 1978. It was the year I started Wellington Girls College. Another feckin' hellscape that was too. Fuck, I've run out of tea. Right, Fred Fernakapan, a mystery goblin. I am a mystery fellow. I'm Fred Fernakapan. I wear one sock that's yellow, the other dipped in jam. I walk around the countryside, I walk around the town, sometimes with my trousers up, sometimes with them down. And when they were up, and when they were down, down. And when they were only halfway up, he was arrested. Unspun socks from a chicken's laundry, 1981. 1981, I was 16. At the end of 1981, I came to Brisbane for the first time and stayed with my father out at Ipswich in the scarifying 45-degree heat, something I had never encountered before. It was a hellscape too. But where he was living was in a caravan park there, which was next door to a nature reserve, and it was quite lovely. They had a gigantic aviary with all kinds of Australian parrots, and they had wallabies hopping through there, and my dad with his pet cockatoo Cheeky, and we spent a lot of time at the public swimming pool, which was close by also. So, you know, I was there for 1 month. It wasn't too bad, but it was so very, very hot. The boxer. I am a merry boxer. I get into the ring. Wallop, wallop, thud. I go until the bell goes ding. When the bell goes ding again, I go back to my stool and stare at my opponent, the ugly little fool. Ding! There goes the bell again. I rush back to the bout. Wallop, wallop, blat, thud, ow! 9, 10, out. It's a cute little... Is there a cartoon on that one? No. I did a cute little drawing for the knockout guy. Oh. Yes, Kermie. 101 Limericks, 1982. A combustible woman. A combustible woman from Thang exploded one day with a bang. The maid then rushed in and said with a grin, "Pardon me, madam, you rang?" There's a lot of it about. 1983. Jehovah Boxer sketch. The brilliant but unpredictable Q series took Milligan from Q5 in 1969 to Q9 in 1980. At this point, faced with calling the next series Q10, the BBC inexplicably backed away, and what would in fact become the final series was named There's a Lot of It About. Jehovah Boxer sketch. Spike. Now let's look at a group of people who are taking the violence out of boxing. Run, Telecine. Spike, as Herbert Schreckle, is wearing a protective sparring kit, black tights, boxing boots. He is jogging in a park with some minders and keeps on hitting himself. A sports interviewer steps into his path. Caption: a Pakistani David Coleman. Interviewer: Herbert Kid Schreckle, I noticed your peculiar training methods. Could you explain? Schreckle: yes, I have peculiar training methods because I am the current reigning Jehovah's Witness boxing champion. Interviewer: how do you differ from ordinary boxers? Schreckle: we refrain from violence in the ring. Interviewer: how does that work? Schreckle: I get a thrashing and he don't. Interviewer: and what's the point of that? Schreckle: he goes away ashamed of himself. Interviewer: and you? Schreckle: I go away on a stretcher. Interviewer: what were you in before this? Schreckle: the lumber business. Interviewer: lumber? Schreckle: yes, I was lumbered with a wife and 4 kids. Interviewer: as a Jehovah's Witness boxer, who are your 4 favourite boxers? Schreckle: Gandhi. Interviewer: well, there you have it. We wish him every luck in his forthcoming fight with Alan Minter. Schreckle and Minders run out of shot with Minders belting Spike. Excuse me. Cut to Sports View set. Spike is Harry Carpenter. Spike: let's go over now to the ringside at the Alcock and Brown Memorial Sporting Tower, Brixton, where patrons are being paid up to 80p each to eat the dinner and another 40p to watch the fight. Commentator: well, it's time for good evening and expenses again. Here at the ringside, it's standing room only. Someone's nicked all the chairs. Interviewer in ring turns to Alan Minter, who is wearing a dinner jacket and black tie and boxing gloves. Alan, why are you wearing a dinner jacket for this fight? Minter: well, it's not going to take that long, Harry. Commentator: what's it like fighting a boxer who won't fight back? Minter: well, it'll make a change from Hagler. Commentator: you didn't get much change for Hagler. Minter punches Carpenter out of sight. Boxer entering Madison Square for world title fight, complete with fanfare and screaming crowds. Spike is helped through the ropes into the ring by 2 priests. Voice over. And here is the challenger again. And just listen to those Jehovah's Witness boxing fans. Cut to stock film of crowd singing hymn at Billy Graham Wembley rally. Boxers are called to the centre of the ring. We see now that Spike is bound by ropes from the shoulders to the waist. Voiceover. As you can see, Schreckle's trainers are doing everything to make sure... Where are you, little snooky? Oh, there you are. Are doing everything... Where's the other one? I can't see him. Oh, you're sitting very politely and quietly, little Bo. You're worn out from destroying my house. It's hard work being an anarchist and a revolutionary when you only got 2 tiny little feet and 2 tiny little wings and a very, very sharp cockatiel beak. He's in anarchist revolutionary training from the mama. Maybe mama should go and chew out. No, stop while I'm ahead. I just realised that sounds awfully sexual. We'll stop there, but you know what I mean, don't you? Bite down. I've bitten down on so much my jaw hurts today, right down in the bones. All dentists are verboten. I'm giving up. I'm giving up on it all. It's interesting how my jaw starts hurting though, almost as if to say, fuck you, Mama T. You're going to comply whether you like it or not if you want to live. Well, I've got enough oxygen in that bottle to keep me going for a while. I don't know how much LPG's left in my bottle, but it's a very big one, so there's no way of knowing how full it is. I guess that's due to run out soon too. But that's not as expensive to swap over. I think it's only about $40, whereas the oxygen is $60. It cost me $60 today. I was a bit confused because I'm pretty sure it was $69 last time, but maybe not. Anywho, on we go, and on we go. Referee. Oh, no, we'll start from the top. Got lost in space. Voiceover. As you can see, Scrackle's trainers are doing everything to make sure that he doesn't hit back, using the special holy restraining ropes which were stressed and spliced by the Pope this morning. Referee. I want a good clean fight. Bell goes. Long shot of a real fight showing boxers coming from their corners to the centre of the ring. We cut to our fight showing Alan Minter belting Spike. Commentator. And what a splendid lack of defence Scrackle was putting up here. That's 14 tremendous blows to the head, which he's brilliantly taken to the chin. Only a natural athlete could soak up this punishment. And look at the way he swung his chin into the path of that uppercut. Minter must be going out of his mind, wondering what he has to do to miss him. Now he's on the floor again, but is just fainting, or has he just fainted? He's up again and he's down again. But you can't keep a good man down because he's up again. And obviously you can't keep a good man up because he's down again. What's going on here, boys? Twitter-pated they are. Bloody Twitter-pated. He's saved by the bell. And some say he's been saved by Jehovah's Witnesses as well. Spike's responses every time we see a blow land. Spike. I forgive him, for he knows not what he does. Whoop. Verily I turn the other cheek. Wallop. Hate not thine enemy. Wallop. It is better to receive than to give. Wallop. When on the ground being counted out, thou shalt not kill. Wallop. Though I walk through the valley of death, naught can harm me. Let him who is without sin cast the first uppercut. Spike is on the ground. And on the seventh day he rested. Only believe, and no harm shall come to thee. At the end of the round, we cut to Spike's corner. Spike has a black eye, strawberry nose, several teeth missing, swelling on his cheek. Attending to Spike are two bruises, very muscular and broken-nosed. They wear Jehovah's Witness boxer t-shirts with dog collars and black bibs. Priest 1. You're doing great, kid. So far, you haven't laid a glove on him. Scrackle. Yes, I really had Alan worried in that round. Priest 1. He thought he'd killed you. The bell goes. Commentator. There goes the bell. But wait, he's not coming out. The doctor says he's not fit. He thinks he's dead. Straight to Spike's corner where they are all jumping up and down with excitement. Priest. He's done it! He's done it! Scenes of excitement and mix through to the dressing room where Spike is lying in a coffin. Interior 1. Well, champ. That should be interviewer 1. Well, champ, how does it feel? Scrackle. Well, I was feeling it just before you came in, and it felt very nice. Interviewer 2. And what about the result? Scrackle. Well, it was a foregone conclusion. Alan Minter didn't know what didn't hit him. Interviewer 1. What do you get for this fight? Scrackle. Injuries. Interviewer 1. I meant money. Scrackle. I meant injuries. Interviewer 2. But I thought you got a good screw for the fight. Scrackle. Oh yes, but I'd rather have money. Interviewer 2. Well, that's it. Another triumph for Kid Scrackle, the Jehovah's Witness boxer. This is Harry Carpenter looking for expenses. Wembley. Sports View music. We see them nailing down the lid of a coffin and carrying it out. The end. Startling verse for all the family, 1987. I met a Greek. Have a nice day. I met a Greek. I met a Greek who wouldn't speak. I met a Turk who wouldn't work. I met a Dane who was insane. I met a Scot who just talked rot. I met an Arab who gave me a scarab. I met a Swede who couldn't read. I met a German who gave me ein sermon. I met an Italian who sold me a stallion. I met an Eskimo with only one toe. I met a Moroccan with only one sock on. I met a Mongolian who knew Napoleon. I met a Croat who had a sore throat. I met a Sioux who was 6'2". I met a Spaniard who sold me a lanyard. I met a Slav who made me laugh. I met a Cambodian who was a custodian. I met a Mallorcan who wouldn't stop talking. I met a Fijian who'd just done his knee in. I met an Iraqi who had a bad bucky. Now, with a Swiss, I'm ending this. Have a nice day. Help, help, said a man. I'm drowning. Hang on, said a man from the shore. Help, help, said the man. I'm not clowning. Yes, I know, and I heard you before. Be patient, dear man who is drowning. You see, I've got a disease. I'm waiting for a Dr. J. Browning. So do be patient, please. How long, said the man who was drowning, will it take for the doc to arrive? Not very long, said the man with the disease. Till then, try staying alive. Very well, said the man who was drowning. I'll try and stay afloat by reciting the poems of Browning and other things he wrote. Help, help, said the man who had a disease. I suddenly feel quite ill. Keep calm, said the man who was drowning. Breathe deeply and lay quite still. Oh dear, said the man with the awful disease. I think I'm going to die. Farewell, said the man who was drowning. Said the man with disease, goodbye. And the man with the disease passed away. But apart from that, and a fire in my hat, it's been a very nice day. Sounds like trying to get things done in the post-COVIDian epoch in 2026. July. By the gods, by all the gods, the impatient, irritated accent are sometimes vengeful gods. But shh, it's Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. May Sabbath peace be upon us all. Let's not get too far to one extremity or t'other, lest we end up like the Eskimo in the poem with only one toe. Of course, they're not actually called Eskimo, it's Inuit. Inuit. Get it right, people of Earth. Bloody Egypts. Spike probably didn't know that though back when he wrote that poem. Inuits will throw a fit if you dare to call them Eskimos or make fun of them for only having one toe. Frostbite's a thing in, the Arctic Circle. Arctic Circle. I bet you they don't get frostbite though, because they know how to, look after themselves up there. They were the first people to notice that the Earth has slipped on her axis, because they see it every day where the sun comes up, that it had moved. You should respect all Indigenous peoples across this planet, because they are the only ones still staying faithful to their old gods and their old mythologies, but also staying close to nature and observing the patterns of our changing Earth. Fleas' Knees and Hidden Elephants, 1995. 1995 was a very bad year for me. It was a year I came close to being murdered on the 16th of January 1995 to be exact. Bastards. But it was just a very, very bad year. All the years leading on from that were extraordinarily bad years. Would have been better off if I'd got on a slow boat to Alaska. After all, we're My former friend Gail wanted me to move there. Could have run off with a wonderful Inuit man. An Inuit who was not a twit. Lived happily ever after. Oh, I can't tolerate the cold. Mama T would have died of bronchitis and frostbite, no doubt about that. Ah, never mind. On with the story, shall we go? Interestingly, this page is 111, and the name of this poem is A Child's Prayer. Can you hear me, God? Can you? Can you? Do you have big ears, God? Do you? Do you? Do they help you listen in, or is it because the walls are thin? What's it like being God? Does it make you ever feel odd? Up there, can you get apple pie? How can you eat it up so high? Please can I see you, God? Only just a peep. If you're not here by 8 o'clock, I'm going off to sleep. And thus concludes Chapter 2. Part 4, Chapter 2. It's a long chapter. How long is Chapter 3 breaking down? My goodness. Quite a short one comparatively. Well, there you go. On the subject of children's letters to God, I can put my hands on it. I've still got it. Don't mind me, Bertie boys. Mama wants to show the people of Earth something. Don't know if I have. I still have it. Ow! That was my bones making that noise. Should have been in my Judaica section, but it's not. Let's go and walk about. Let's have a look over here. Children's letters to God. Where are you? What is that? Maidens and Love. Okay. Aha. Found it. Have you been attempting to chew over here too, you little slicky boys? You're like two little feathery gangsters. Always looking for trouble. So I won this as a prize when I was a little Lutheran child, a long, long time ago. Island Bay Sunday School in 1969, which meant I was 4. How can that be that I won that when I was 4? I thought I was 6. I was 6 when I decided that I was in opposition to Christianity, since they said that they were the only ones getting to heaven, and you had to believe that Jesus died for all your sins and have the blood of Christ and all that bollocks, and therefore everyone else is condemned to hell, according to my bigoted Lutheran minister. So I was 6 when I decided that I was Jewish and I wasn't going to have any more part of that bollocking, stupid religion that is so bigoted and awful. Seriously, all the Christians who come to my channel are probably upset with me now, but it's a very flawed philosophy. Also, I died quite a few times already by the time I was 6. So I knew that there were more people in heaven than just Christians, or in particular only Lutherans. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, so this book is literally from 1969, and I would not have believed it was that early. I was already in Sunday school in 1969 at the age of 4. Here's my maiden name, Tanya Phillips. Right, I might even read it to you, people of Earth. It's very, very sweet. Have we got time? Yeah, we've got time. For shits and giggles, let's read Children's Letters to God, compiled by Eric Marshall and Stuart Hampel, illustrated by Yanni Posnikoff. In the back I've even proudly printed my name, probably when I was learning to write, probably a year later. But I've kept this book because it's actually delightful how children try to comprehend God, and I guess in a broader spectrum of the universe. It was published in 1967 by Collins. So when I got it, it was a new book. And here's a little picture on the back of some little person. What are they doing? I think they're reading. And here's all the angels up high, watching over everybody, making sure we're all good, or good enough, or a bit average, really, mediocre, sometimes downright feckin' evil, but it is what it is. Introduction. The letters in this book express that part of a child's world reserved for special thoughts and wishes. Their subject matter ranges through those beliefs, desires, questions, and doubts that are urgent and common to all children. Some of them are disarmingly wise, others naive, some knowing, some simple, some reverent, some not so reverent. Many are weighted with seriousness, others are lit with smiles. All of them are addressed to God with much hope and trust. Grown-ups know for certain, of course, that no matter how much postage they carry, they will not get there. But then grown-ups know so much more than children. Sometimes. In choosing these letters, we have tried to convey as much as possible the incredible variety they represent. Spelling and grammar have not been corrected. For what they say better as they are. Eric Marshall and Stuart Hampel. Right, here we go, babies. Dear God, count me in, your friend Herbie. And here's Herbie's little drawing. I think the drawings are just as delightful as the actual letters to God. Dear God, can you really do everything? I wish I could too. Marvin. Dear God, I love you because you are so good. I try to be good like you. I am good to all people, my mother and father, and 2 sisters. It must be fun to be God and have everybody love you. Yours sincerely, Thomas. I almost got killed at Sunday school. How old was I when that happened? I think I was 6. It was a very bad year when I was 6. A lot of very, very life-threatening and awful things happened to me. 6, 7 and 8. Very, very bad years. But anyway, I was standing outside this Sunday school at Island Bay, waiting out the front of the gate, and a little boy came hurtling down through the heavy wooden gate, smacked it right into the middle of my forehead. I spent the night in hospital with a CT scan going up and down. I remember that going over me, scanning me for concussion, and it was awful. Quite frankly, that put me off Christianity too, because I knew that that little boy had seen me and knew I was standing behind that gate, and I knew that he deliberately smashed it into me as hard as he possibly could. He deliberately tried to kill me, that little boy. And then I was made to wait till the rest of the class was over before they drove me home. By the time I got home to my mother, I looked like a unicorn, a lump protruding from the middle of my forehead by about an inch. My mother took one look and screamed. Rare for my mother to actually express maternal care, you understand, but it was very, very, very bad and dangerous. She screamed at the minister who used to pick me up and drive me to Sunday school and bring me back why he didn't take me to hospital immediately. He said, she didn't seem to be all that bad, so I had to finish the classes with all the other children. Once again, sold down the river by an authority figure. It's amazing I'm alive at all, people of Earth. It truly is amazing. That's why I'm a bit weird and quirky, of course. You'd be weird and quirky too if you survived everything I did as a child. Right, who are you listening to, handsome boy? We're reading children's letters to God. This means nothing to us birdies. Probably doesn't either. Dear God, I saw St. Patrick's Church last week when we went to New York. You live in a nice house. Frank. Here's a picture of God's very nice house. Lots of cars parked outside. Lots of people queued up to go to church. Put a lot of thought into it, that little boy. There's even a Zeppelin flying over. Cute. Very, very cute. Right. Dear God, last week it rained 3 days. We thought it would be like Noah's Ark, but it wasn't. I'm glad because you could only take 2 of things, remember? And we have 3 cats. Goodbye now, Donna. Here's a picture of Noah's Ark with her 3 pussycats. And she remembered to include the television. Dear God, are you real? Some people don't not believe it. If you are, you better do something quick. Harriet Ann. Dear God, when you wrote the Bible, you made up all the words and spelled them the way you like. Spelled them the way you like. That is good. Most of the time I do it like that, but I am not doing so good. Ron. I think he's spelled very well. Ron's doing very well for himself. Dear God, if you know so much, how come you never made the river big enough for all the water and our house got flooded? And now we've got to move. Victor. Here's their houses all flooded. Happens quite often in Brisbane, on average every 8 to 10 years. Well, they built on floodplains like bloody idiots, didn't they? Brisbane. Stupid is as stupid does. from the very beginning. Why did I migrate to this country, this city, this state, with all the stupidity? I don't know. I must like being punished. I must be like Spike Milligan, being a Jehovah's Witness boxer, getting smashed in the teeth all the time. How about no to that one? Right. Dear God, your book has a lot of zip to it. I like science fiction stories. You had very good ideas and I would like to know where you found them. Your reader, Jimmy. Jimmy's thought about that quite a lot. I'm impressed with Jimmy. Dear God, I would like these things: a new bicycle, a number 3 chemistry set, a dog, a movie camera, a first baseman glove. If I can't have them all, I would like to have most of them. Yours truly, Eric. P.S. I know there is no Santa Claus. Eric's not playing fast and loose on that one, is he? He's not having it, he's not. Right. Dear God, we are learning about Jonah and the whale, where he swallowed him and everything. It's the best story I ever heard, with action and fright. My daddy says it sounds pretty fishy. A little picture of a fish. Do you think that's funny? Very truly, Sydney. Here's a picture of Jonah sitting in his whale. Actually, I used to enjoy that story as a child. All my favourite stories were the Old Testament stories. Funny that. Dear God, did you have as much trouble learning Hebrew as I am? Are there any easy ways to do it? I know you talk English too, so I am writing in English. Respectfully, Jeremy. Very nice handwriting too. Dear Mr. God, how do you feel about people who don't believe in you? Somebody else wants to know. A friend, Neil. Dear God, we are going on vacation for 2 weeks Friday, so we won't be in church. I hope you will be there when we get back. When do you take your vacation? Goodbye, Donnie. And Donnie had the most delightful spelling mistakes. Friday and where was the other one? Oh, get back. Very, very cute. You don't have to believe in God to enjoy these little letters because they're just so natural and human. Dear God, I have got to know something. What is it like in heaven? I know it's nice, but what kind of nice? What happens when it rains? Morty. I'm only happy when it rains. I'm only happy when I'm... Is it constipated or saturated? I can't tell. Look at all the angels floating around with their little Macintoshes and their wellies. Floating around. I even put the little tree of life there. Little wagon, little... What is that? Even the donkey has a little halo. Oh, that looks like... Yes, that looks like a fun kind of heaven. They recognised the holiness of the little donkey. They put a lot of thought into that. Dear God, are boys better than girls? I know you are one, but try to be fair. Sylvia. Dear God, could you write more stories? We have already read all the ones you have, and begin again. Gratefully, Emily. Dear God, I wrote you before. Do you remember? Well, I did what I promised, but you did not send me the horse yet. What about it? Lewis. Lewis. All things come to those, Lewis, who are humble and respectful and patient. And when it doesn't come, you gotta shake up shit and rock the Casbah. Wow! Works for me sometimes, but not always. Here's Lewis's idea of heaven. He doesn't have a real horse on earth, but all his horses are dancing around waiting to be chosen, to be loved by him in heaven. Why can't you even keep it from raining on Saturday all the time? Rose. I bet you she's a nice little Jewish girl. And here we have Tanya's scribblings, which I've tried to rub out at some stage, but they're still there. Looks like an umbrella. Oh, I was such a sweet little baby girl, wasn't I? Until life got in my way. Look at all the umbrellas, though. It reminds me one time I turned up to the Brooklyn Standard back in the time when they used to make me queue. Well, they make most people queue, but eventually they gave me VIP privileges and I didn't have to queue anymore. Anyway, this was shortly before that happened, and I turned up and it was pissing with rain, and I'm there with my top hat and my corset and my lovely skirt and my shawl looking all lovely, and it started pissing with rain, and it was like I got caught in the rain a few times in that queue. It was awful, really awful. Anyway, and there's some younger people were behind me in the queue, and I'm like a man closer to my age was with them, and very kindly they said, would you like to stand with us under our umbrella? Weren't they sweet? And I said, oh yes please. I said, I seem to always get caught out. And then they all sang, the girls, with two young women like in their late 20s, Umbrella to me, and we were all singing and happily, and the whole crowd and the rest of the queue dancing and laughing to us singing Umbrella. It was some really magical little things like that would happen at the Brooklyn Standard. I miss going there. I think I'll go again soon when I feel better about my teeth and have fire on my belly and there's a good band playing. I'll have to get myself there again because I had many, many happy times. And I mustn't let the evil, befouled, spite-proteined, rotten, envious, spiteful people stop me from living my best life and enjoying dancing. Dear God, if you do all these things, you are pretty busy. Now here's my question. When is the best time I can talk to you? I know you are always listening, but when will you be listening hard in Troy, New York? Sincerely yours, Alan. Alan. All you have to do is talk to God as if He really is there and you really believe in Him. You'd be surprised who listens to your prayers, by the way. Very surprising. Even Steven Spielberg put at the end of Disclosure Day, listen. I laughed my ass off when I walked out of the cinema. It was so cute how he ended that movie. So very, very cute. Dear God, what is it like when you die? Nobody will tell me. I just want to know. I don't want to do it. Your friend, Mike. Dear God, I think it is terrific the way they got the astronauts to go around the world. Please don't let it fall on our house. Your friend, Norman. Dear God, my name is Robert. I want a baby brother. My mother said to ask my father. My father said to ask you. Do you think you can do it? Good luck, Robert. That's a very dangerous question to be asking of God. If you're a Christian, He's got a habit of virgin births and all that. I just, it's not something I'd be asking God for unless I was really, really desperate, people of earth. As Sarai and Avram, as Sarai was 80 years old when God told her, actually the angel Gabriel. Seems to always be angel Gabriel telling women these things, that she was about to give birth. She said, are you kidding? I'm 80 years old. 80. 8 decades. But along came Isaac. And what's the first thing they did, the first opportunity? Tried to sacrifice him. When you think about it, my religion's a weird religion. It truly is. God inseminating young virgins and octogenarians. Well, leave me alone since I don't have a uterus anymore. I'm very grateful for that, I can assure you. Right. Dear God, I got left back. Thanks a lot. Raymond. I think he means he was kept down a year. That is depressing. That is awful when that happens to a kid. Dear God, my little brother is 4 years old. I wish you could please get him to stop driving me crazy. Your friend, Mark, age 7.5. Here's Mark being driven crazy by his little brother who's apparently loudly banging on a drum. Aww. Dear God, my teacher read us the part where all the Jews went through where the water was and got away. Keep up the good work. I am Jewish. Love, Paula. Here we go. Crossing the Sea of Reeds. Very, very cute. Dear God, church is all right, but you could sure use better music. I hope this does not hurt your feeling. Can you write some new songs? Your friend, Barry. Dear God, if you know Captain Kangaroo, would you please get me to meet him? Thanking you, Ralph. And he crossed out the first Y and wrote another one. Sweet. Dear God, I am the only one in my class who is Chinese. They all say that you are American, but I am too. So you could be Chinese, right? Your friend, Kim. Dear God, do you get your angels to do all the work? Mommy says we are her angels and we have to do everything. Love, Maria. By the Goddess. Sounds awfully familiar, like my household growing up too. Oh, bless. One angel there's packed her suitcases and looks like she's going to fly away. Why do they all look like they've got masks on? It's a bit creepy. Two look like they've got COVID masks on. The one that's wanting to fly away and the one doing the ironing. And the one, don't know what she's doing there, presumably washing dishes. Oh. Dear God, are you as big as the whole sky and as strong as the whole world? That's a good thing. Very much. Dean. Dean's still very little. You can tell by the way his writing drifts off the page. Dear God, I am 8 years old. My name is Sharon. I am in 3rd grade. I live in Seattle. One thing I would like to know. Do you like what you do? Sharon. I must say, Sharon's got quite lovely handwriting for an 8-year-old. Mine was always atrocious because I broke my wrist when I was 7. Maybe it wasn't because of my wrist being broken though, although it did delay me a little bit. Maybe it's just the way my brain's wired. Anyway, I've still got terrible handwriting. Do I care? No. I can type now. Typing is a wonderful skill. Very wonderful skill. But handwritten, beautifully handwritten, is best. Dear God, my friend Arthur says, you make all the flowers. I don't believe it. Best wishes, Benjamin. Benjamin, the agnostic, materialist, realist, probably going to grow up to be a scientist. Oh, here's a picture of all the flowers that he doesn't believe that God makes. But that's okay. I mean, you know, nature. Nature makes flowers. To God. Dear Sir, the reason I am writing is this. My mommy and I are going to spend Easter with my Aunt Bee. My daddy can't come. We are supposed to fly, but my mommy is scared to fly, so is scared to go. Maybe you better come with us. Morton. Never fly faster than your angels can fly, or drive faster than your angels can fly. Dear God, when you started with the earth and put people there and all the animals and grass and the stars, did you get very tired? I have a lot of other questions too. Very truly yours, Sherman. Here we go, little Sherman, and little Sherman's drawing of all the animals on this beautiful blue swirling marble of a planet. Oh, look again. He's put boats and houses and trees and things all on the outside. Even a little, what looks like a little church or something. Very clever. Very clever, Sherman. Very clever indeed. Right. Oh Lord, now thank you for giving me my dad and mother and their children and dog and fish. Thank you for giving us the nice world to live in and eyes to see it and what we eat and brains to think. Thank you for everything. Love, Maxine. Here's Maxine feeling very thankful. Very, very sweet. Dear God, you're nice. Your friend Alan. Here we have Alan. And thus concludes Children's Letters to God and Chapter 2 of Spike Milligan. That was a little bit of an extra surprise thrown in just because I needed the emotional boost up. Sometimes when I want an emotional boost, I love to read things written by children because it's delightful how they think and look at the world. So, blessed be from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. Have a wonderful afternoon, evening, morning, night, wherever you are in the space-time continuum. Whatever belief system you have or disbelief system you have, everyone fits. It's a big, big cosmos. Much love from me, Tanya Desiree Bodicea. Bye for now.